Hello, welcome back to Man Matters Podcast with Nate and myself, Dervin. How's it going?
What's up? Pretty excited for this episode.
Yes,
A
sir.
lot that's happened.
Yes, in the last 2 weeks, dude. Like, look at this shit right here. I got a left, right, good night from Nick last night, and during practice, I was with my headgear, and he got a crossface, and my shin and guard got stuck there. After I felt really naked shook, my ears don't come out of there because I have my gear, so I
Right.
was just getting cranks like tap. And then like I know the thing about it, I didn't know about it until I got to the house because I look at the mirror and nothing.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, what happened to you? I was like, what? Did I get scratched? Because sometimes you get like scratch on your neck or something like that. It's like, oh, maybe I got a scratch, but I didn't feel anything. And then she like look in the mirror, and then I saw this right. She's like, oh shit, like big ass bruise right here.
Yeah.
Ah man, it's like wow, you look like an idiot.
Dang.
Well, probably am. Oh yeah, man, dude. Like I got a bruise from hell. It's gonna be fun to work tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like, what
Dang,
happened to
man.
you? I fell the steps. Don't come on, what? But yeah, man. How you been, man?
Good. It was a busy week traveling to Germany. Yeah. I
When do you
travel
travel?
there.
When do
What's up?
you fly out?
When? Sunday. Yes, Sunday evening.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about like, dude, like, cause Sunday you're flying out, and that's like shit, and that's the same night that freaking the United States bombed Iran.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shit, like, man, like you're over there, and you're like, World War III started when you land in Germany. Freak to fucking travel.
No, I'm not here for anything.
I'm here
Send
for
me
work.
back.
Like, dude, like that had to be like crazy. Like whenever you get there, and like imagine just like you just like get there and it's like freaking World War III. Like, what would you do? Because like, oh, that's what that black Challenger that passes by on the flying was. It's a freaking stealth bomber.
Yeah.
That is freaking crazy. Like, and then when
Uh.
you get there, all of a sudden you hear this right here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's.
You hear this right here whenever you get there.
I. Yeah. What did I miss?
Oh shit! What is this? Oh man,
Yeah. No, thankfully it wasn't World War III, but
like, dude, keep that passport with you at all times because you're in a different country. You don't speak the language.
Mhm.
It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah. No, that would not be fun.
It's like, fuck, we bombing who? And what?
Yeah.
No shit. I need to text some people, man. I need to catch a ride with somebody. But that has to be scary.
Yeah, see if my company will pay for a immediately ride back.
Yeah. Like, sorry, man, you can't. It can get you here to next week. Like, dude, but at that time, that UNICEF will get me there. Just thinking about like, oh shit, Nate's in Germany.
Mhm.
This shit is going down, and modern warfare is going on right now. Call of Duty.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be got the Russia and Ukraine war fairly close. Got the
Iran. Then you got Palestine versus Israel.
Mhm.
Somebody made a bracket of instead of the World Cup, it's a World War bracket.
Gee.
North Korea versus South Korea. China
Oh,
versus United
yeah,
States.
right.
It's China versus United States. Iran versus United States. The same side of the bracket. I guess they're the group stages against each other. It's crazy. But yeah, man, that had to be scary.
Yeah, yeah. They were talking about it, the company we were visiting with, but thankfully, nothing really came of it for us.
Which side? You want to be in the winning side? You want to lose inside? Yeah. Like, what did they say?
I mean, they were just pretty much the same thing I was seeing, actually. It was, like, the Ukrainian, or not the Ukrainian, the Iranian missiles towards the U.S. base that they basically told them they were, hey, we're going to shoot at you. This is
Yeah.
where, this is when,
Yeah.
duck and cover. And then they shot just to, like, retaliate, but
It's far
yeah,
worse.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
But,
because I heard that they had cleared that area
yep,
by the time they were doing the strikes. Kuwait.
yep.
We don't want to look weak.
Yeah,
We shoot your
exactly. I
shit
think
on
it
the
was
back.
just to show, like, hey, we responded, but
Yeah. It was just
it
above
wasn't
the
really
fireworks shooting
exactly. Yep,
at the coast.
yep.
Bunch of Roman candles. Oh, man. A lot have gone like the last few weeks. One thing was UFC BJJ Tournament,
Yes,
road to the
sir.
final. That happened. So what's different about UFC BJJ other than the brand, as far as like the um, the competition itself? It takes place like in the octagon, but it's like a bowl, like a
Yeah.
pit, just like the 10-point must system. 3 different rounds. It's 2 minutes rounds.
Yeah, the 3 rounds, all rounds excluding the final round, shall be accompanied by a rest period. Each round should be scheduled for a 5 minute duration.
I remember it being 5 minutes.
I don't know,
Sub only.
but pretty exciting for UFC to take an interest in jiu-jitsu. Like,
Yeah.
I'd heard the rumors, I heard that UFC was going to invest in jiu-jitsu to see where that went. I mean, rumors are one thing, but it is really cool to see it being
Yeah.
put into play.
Especially that it's not behind a broadcasting part. It's not behind a paywall like cable or like ESPN Plus or UFC Fight Pass. Because you know that EBI, they're usually in the UFC Fight Pass. Those matches like combat jiu-jitsu and those kind of things. But this one's on YouTube for free. Kind of like the same. Some people are talking about like the UFC stole from CJI, but CJI is only once a year. They
Right.
have a pin. They have the same scoring system, but the scoring system the CJI used was based off of the UFC. That's why whenever they were talking about the CJI scoring system is going to be just like the UFC,
Mhm.
3 rounds, and they'll be scored individually.
Mhm.
So he encourages people to be aggressive. You don't get like points for being defensive, mostly being aggressive. That's when you actually encourage
Yeah.
do, which makes that sport more interesting.
Yes, for sure. I know they were encouraging the action, which is awesome for jiu-jitsu. I mean that needs to be the focal point. If you don't encourage that, people aren't going to watch it. It's not going to grow.
Yeah, and some that you hear the referee too, engage too. You
Right.
hear him talking. And
Yep.
also another thing is the pit. You have the problem like for example, ADCC you're going out of bounds. You have to
Right.
reset them. Like say they don't go out of bounds.
Yep. You're trapped.
Mm-hmm. Until somebody wins.
Which I heard again. Yeah, and unfortunately, I was in Germany and it was 3 a.m. when these were going on.
Yeah.
But I heard that the Mikey Musumeci versus Gabriel Souza was not super exciting. It was one of those matches that's
Yeah, Gabriel was mostly defending.
yeah.
Musumeci was going leg locks, attacks. Musumeci was starting from standing, but he used to have one leg up, hopping one leg, giving his leg to Gabriel. I don't know what kind of technique was that. But Gabriel kept like sweeping his leg, like trying to trip him.
Mhm.
But yeah, like it was a weird one because Gabriel was mostly defending leg locks. He was able to escape some. He had some deep stuff, and then eventually he was able to cash him. He was trying to roll and roll. Like, dude, I think I was joking around that the reason he tapped out wasn't because he got the submission. He got dizzy just trying to spin out of the submission. He just dizzy as hell. Like I'm
Oh my
out.
gosh, make it stop.
The whole world was spinning. He couldn't stop himself from spinning. He ran to the wall, and that was it. Game over. But was able to get all the way to the third round,
Yeah.
which I think Musumeci felt like he was more over accomplished than Gabriel because Gabriel, according to like the show, he was a Pan Am's champion in the gi,
Mhm.
and this is gonna be a no gi match. I'm not sure how good his leg locks will be because leg locks are frowned upon in the gi.
Right. My understanding was he was not the best at leg locks. I'm trying to think. I think he's got really good guard passing. I remember them talking about that at a Toro match that he was in. That his guard passing is extremely good. I mean, Musumeci is how do you beat a guy that trains 8 hours a day?
Yeah, and he studies a lot too. So like in different positions, he knows what to do from there.
That's just yeah. That's a next level match. They need to get Musumeci a really really good guy. See how it goes.
Who else is in like his weight class to begin against him?
I'm trying to think. I feel like he's kind of run out of people in his weight class.
He cleared the division.
Although I feel like he'd be game to start fighting up. I know he's done that at tournaments plenty of times.
Yeah.
And it would be interesting matchups.
Yeah, you talk about the Rutolo brothers, especially K,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
ADCC champion.
Yep. CJ.
Man,
Mm-hmm.
have Musumeci ever been to ADCC? I don't recall him being ADCC.
I don't recall that. Yeah. Which that's actually very interesting.
Yeah.
Was that because of one? Because of that contract?
No, but before that, he was competing jiu-jitsu before then. He mostly like known for winning in the gi. I remember him winning for world titles in the gi. But he's pretty good in no gi. I mean, one was no gi. But yeah, I don't
Right.
remember him.
Yeah.
Why he never been to ADCC?
That's a good question. I really don't know.
Do they have his weight class? I don't think they have his weight class. The lowest is 145, 66 kilos. He's a 135.
Oh.
That may be the reason why. But
Yeah.
he can go up.
Now I would think he would do pretty well in that.
Yeah. Yeah, so is what do you think is because of the time limit? He's pretty good submission wise. So the time shouldn't be an issue. Try ADCC.
What was that? Sorry.
You should have an issue with I would thought first like maybe it's because time limit in ADCC is like longer rounds between each match. Well, he'll be able to submit everybody before 5 minutes anyways. The time limit won't be an issue.
Also, ADCC does not let you pull guard.
True.
Which Musumeci, that is his thing.
Yeah. He left pulling guard.
So I don't. He doesn't stand up at all, does he? He really doesn't have.
He stood up, but he was like, if I remember correctly, he was doing false reap most of the time whenever he was
Okay.
going from the ground. That's what he's doing the leg injuries.
That's yeah. I'm seeing here like people are saying, well, he makes more money at one, or he used to anyway. ADC is mostly for prestige.
Yeah. Shout out to
Then,
Mo.
yeah, and then undersized even for the lightest division. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another one to have Carlos Enrique was the other one that he won. The 155 pound, the lightweight title. UFC BJJ. That guy that he was going against. Who was he going against?
Danilo Moreira.
Yes. He is what's his name? Husband or baby daddy. What's the girl that went against Elena? In who's number one?
Elizabeth Clay.
That's his baby mama.
Okay. Okay.
Because the brother kid in there said, "Is that Elizabeth Clay?"
Yep.
It was her.
That's cool. That was a good match. How did that go?
It's pretty good. I don't remember what he caught him in. I think he caught him in a rear neck. No, that was a tagging. I can't remember how that one ended, but it was a pretty good match. And
I can only imagine. What's up?
another thing interesting about Musumeci match, Gilbert Burns was in Musumeci's corner.
Really?
Yeah, I should recall that.
Why would that be?
Brazilian going against another Brazilian. I don't know, but yeah, seeing Gilbert Burns like in his corner because Gilbert Burns is a good jiu-jitsu guy.
Yes. That is strange. I don't know who normally coaches Mikey.
I can't remember because I heard this is Cobrinha. Is that his affiliation? I can't remember correctly.
I don't remember. I think he jumps around, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what Gordon Ryan was giving help.
Ryan. Yeah.
Call him a Judas. He just like stay there for a little bit, like a couple of techniques. He just leave the gym.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if you're as into it as Mikey, there's probably not many like people who know more.
Yeah,
So why? I don't. Yeah, it's almost like why would he stay with a affiliation at that point?
it's mostly cross training more than just
Exactly. Yeah, that
so
doesn't
you
work.
don't get like more degrees or getting more rank in your belt, but more
Right.
from one school. So it's just trying to learn new things, trying
Right.
different bodies for training. But yeah, and then Andrew Tacken was another one.
Always a fun watch.
Yes, he's good. Was it Varela that he went against?
Let's see. Yep. Andy Varla.
Yeah, he caught him in a weird. It was like it's like backside head and arm triangle. The submission. He got his back, but he had like a really naked choke, but with the arm in. He's able to submit him that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Nicky Ryan did that in what was it? I don't remember what competition it was, but Nicky Ryan did that same move.
It's weird.
Yeah.
We just have to have long arms to be able to hit that.
Yeah. I would imagine.
Because you usually hit an arm, you usually use you shift your weight to sink it in. But from the
Hmm.
back, there's not much sinking way in.
Right.
And you have an arm in. So basically, if you can do that, you can hit it for seatbelt every time.
Hmm.
The submission,
Yeah, that
essentially.
is interesting. Tackett's done a couple like unexpected submissions. What
Mhm.
was the last one he fought in?
Who's number one?
Okay, and that was like the weird like offside heel
Yeah.
hook, wasn't it? Or something like
Yeah,
that.
because it was the guy had his leg, and the other guy just left his leg hanging around. He just got his leg and just he locked both of his leg in and went for a submission
Yep.
from there.
He's getting it done.
Oh yeah, what's his name was being a hitter basically. Well, he was saying that he's not good for the sport. Craig Jones, that Andrew Tackett went with UFC BJJ instead of doing CJI.
Craig Jones said that.
Yeah, he said that like about Tackett, like why he went with the UFC BJJ is good for him as far as like for the money, like no riding things like that. But it's not good
Yeah.
for the for CJI because like I guess it was $1 million price. But I'm not sure how he will apply for CJI too because it's a team, right? It's not like a
Right.
individual unless they're doing super fights, super matches. Craig Jones was talking about that.
So So Tackett's not in the next CJI.
I don't think so. I don't know how that UFC BJJ works. I don't know if they're contractually bound to only compete in UFC BJJ or
Mm,
they can compete in other organizations or their events.
yeah, that's interesting.
They might be able to compete EBI because I mean it's on the same umbrella.
Right. I would imagine that would be extremely limiting. A new league and exclusive contracts for grapplers. UFC has signed its first exclusive BJJ athlete, Mikey Musumeci. Contracts grant UFC exclusive rights to the athlete's appearances. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, Tackett signed on with them, and now he can only compete for them.
So also only five pass invitational, probably.
Probably.
UFC five pass and of course UFC BJJ just defending the title.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's rough. I don't know how
yeah.
much they how much of the UFC they're paid on a per fight basis. Yeah, okay, I'm not finding a whole lot on that. I'm finding all fighter stuff, but
Yeah. Because it limits your competition because it's not like MMA that is like a sport that a lot of people follow. Even from the
right,
beginning, the people are really like gravitated towards MMA. BJJ is like not so much casual fans
right.
watch it. So if you're only contractually bound to one organization, you're not able to compete in other events.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, this you can say you were signed by UFC, but yeah, that's very limiting. I don't know how many events they're planning on having
They did
for.
the announcement of a couple other events that they're gonna do later in the year. Well, I can't remember when. Let me look it up. BGA two is gonna be July 31st, October 2nd, and December 11th. Those are the other ones that they're doing for
Mhm.
USD BJJ. It's
Okay.
gonna be like the Ultimate Fighter Bowl. It's gonna be faster.
Okay. Yep.
So I mean, the other one is not far from here. And when the other weight classes are gonna bring in, but you have Tackett to defend the title and Carlos Enrique. And who's gonna be the coaches? Because how many people can Musumeci go against as a coach?
Yeah.
Just keep feeding him. And what's the name? Clara Gadeir. She's the mainly like the spokesperson or like the host of the show for UFC BJJ.
Okay.
Yeah, but she was for this season. I'm not sure they will keep her for next season too. That'd be interesting. They're bringing back Kat Zingano because she's a big BJJ fan.
Mhm.
She's called the UFC BJJ Strategy Director. That's the position.
Okay. So that's an interesting title.
Yeah. Uh, well, never mind. There's something else for like episode 2. They were teasing about bringing back Keith Krikorian and Isaac Doderlian. I'm not sure who they're gonna bring for season 2 of UFC BJJ. But it is good. There's good takes from this is that is for free. So you have to pay like a paywall, like for grappling or anything like that too, or a pay per view to watch the matches. You can watch it on your phone anytime during the day.
Yeah, that, I mean that's super nice.
Yeah.
that in and of itself, I think will get it some watches, just because if you're more casual, you're not gonna pay a lot to watch jujitsu, but if it's free, sure, why not?
Yeah.
That'll get it some more views, which is nice.
It was bomb. I wanted Jason enough to make it far. He's a wrestler. He's into jujitsu now. He moved to Texas now. He was in the the UFC BJJ as well. And then, I think in the second round he had Andrew Tackett. I was like, yeah, it's game over. So we have to go through Andrew Tackett. It's a nightmare.
Yeah,
Because Jason
yeah.
Knopf, he went against I think he went K Rutolo in when he was in CJI.
Okay, yeah.
That's the one that he got caught in that reverse triangle and he still didn't tap out. He like I think the round ended, but it was like a crazy scramble when he was going against Kirotolo. That's what he had
Uh,
at first round. That's a nightmare,
that
bro.
sucks. Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you can make it through that first round, you're good. Like, you're not gonna have
Yeah.
problems for the rest of it. But the odds of that happening are pretty slim.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He had two top guys, Kirotolo and Andrew Taggart, because he had Rotolo in the CJI and then Taggart in UFC BJJ. So, man, bro. Do you want to go over UFC 317?
Yeah.
This past weekend. It's supposed to be five. It's international 5 week, which it didn't feel like it was international 5 week because usually they do that like the week of 4th of July, but this time they did it July 28th. Is 4th of July is on a Friday,
Yes.
so they do the Saturday before
Yep.
4th of July.
Something real quick before we switch completely off jiu-jitsu. Did
Mhm.
you see Helena lost?
Oh yeah, she sent me that video.
Yeah.
Was that a quintet or was it like just a
I'm not sure. I don't know. I just saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, what? Just completely blown away by that.
yeah? What did she go
Absolute.
to?
I was trying to look that up. I think Sarah Galvao
Wow,
at the absolute division of the 2025 IBJJF Pans, where Galvao, despite being a lighter weight class, secured a 6-0 victory. Wow.
shut down.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's impressive.
That is. That is. I mean, that's really cool to finally see Helena has some competition.
Yeah,
You know she's only going to come back way better from that. You know.
yeah. Elizabeth Clay, she's recently had the kid. I think she's 8 months. The kid is 8 months right now.
Yeah.
I wonder how far away from she started training back again.
That's valid.
Because
Yep.
what was the match? Was that in April, March?
I think so. Yeah, it wasn't super long ago.
Just wondering like how much training because Elizabeth Clay beat Elena before.
Right.
It was the ADCC when she was not this one, but the one before that one.
Mm-hmm.
She beat her in 2022.
Yeah.
She
She's
beat her.
she's a beast. So yeah, I mean that's valid as well. Maybe after regular training, I can only imagine that takes a lot out of you. So I mean, and
Yeah,
you can't train. It's not like you could normally.
yeah. And then you're going against train against a killer, Elena.
Right. Yes.
Now it like makes sense when you're saying like you thought that Elizabeth Clay would be able like to put up like more resistance, but you felt like he wasn't as much. But like now I see like oh probably that's the reason might be
Very
why.
likely. Yeah. But no, I just wanted to mention that. That was super cool. Not that I want to see Helena lose,
Mhm.
but to see her have some competition finally that's exciting.
Yes. I mean she's gonna go against her. I mean it's absolute as well, right?
Right.
So she's gonna face it another time.
Yeah.
Not absolute
Yep.
match. But you're looking forward to her. I mean she's only young.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. She's got so far she can grow.
Oh yeah. Especially with that. Oh, she moving to Go Ryan's team?
I think so.
Okay. What's the team called again? King something?
Yeah, I thought it was King something.
It's King
Something kind of.
Jiu-Jitsu, something like that.
Yeah.
But she's a queen. Like, what are we doing
Oh,
here? Oh, it's Texas. Everybody's a king.
boot her out.
Bring everybody in there. Texas. Bring the Burger King. We'll join them.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's welcome. But yeah, I can't remember the name of his gym. Because this is West Austin, I think that's what it was.
I think so.
But for UFC 317 this past weekend, Um, there was some interesting matches. According to overall quality of the event, it says that this is the best pay per view of 2025 so far because highlight like they had dramatic finishes, violent knockouts, thrilling slugfest across all 11 matches, and none are considered weak. The multiple balls received A plus, including the one before the coming event, Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. And that like that's one of those matches that's up there as a candidate for fight of the year because they were going back and forth with each other. The thing about it was Brandon Royval was number two rank when this fight was scheduled, and Josh Van I think it was like 15. He just had a fight not long ago, and he took out the fight in short notice, and he didn't disclose that he had a broken toe until after the fight. Because I saw one thing was interesting, like why is he wearing wrestling shoes for practice? We're doing the UFC embedded. I was like, what is he wearing wrestling shoes? Because it's been like a strike and stuff like that. Usually you'll see a lot of striker wearing wrestling shoes.
Right.
If practice for MMA, he had a broken toe.
Wow.
It's
That's
still,
wild. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
been
Tell me your distance for the top.
yeah. He's from Myanmar. That's where he's from.
Myanmar?
Uh
The
huh.
really?
Yeah, they call Burmese. That's what this is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where he's from.
Wow, okay. I don't know much about that place to be honest.
The only thing I know about was because of the controversy with Facebook, something that some issues they have like a something Analytica, they had a lawsuit of against Facebook because of data or reach engagement with people. That's what I remember. The
Okay.
Myanmar they had like some issues, like they were trying to do a coup and Facebook interrupted something with the government, and people were like punished for it. That's the only thing I know about Myanmar as far as the country.
Interesting. So does he have like a Muay Thai base then?
Yeah,
I
he's a
see
good.
it's right beside Thailand, so
Yeah,
we got to be somewhat influenced.
yeah. The third round, it was a gentleman's agreement. We're not going to wrestle. We're just going to slugfest each other.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, Josh Van is shorter, so he's getting peppered by the jab. And at the during the third round, he keep kicking the front leg of Royval, so it took his momentum. So every time you try to catch his footing, you catch him with a punch, and then he's like even drop it.
Okay.
At the end of the third round, oh shit! But it was a crazy, crazy fight with that one.
Wow. That's flyweight. Okay. Yep.
And also, he was brought in the, after the fight of Pantoja versus Kai Kara France because Kai Kara France lost to Pantoja. He got rear naked choke, and Josh Van was brought in as a potential next contender
Mhm.
for the title.
Yep. I mean that makes sense.
But that's
Right.
impressive, going from 15 to number one contender.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a leap.
Yeah. Another matches that were in there before we go to the main event. Gregor Rodriguez versus Jack Hermanson. Gregor Rodriguez, he just starched Jack Hermanson. I can remember it was a left hook when he connected. He just went out and he just went with the Green Reaper side from the drop the hammer of the god while Jack Hermanson was down. He just boom just for another one. And of course Herb was there a little bit late, but he was there. It's Herb Dean's fault. You give hell to Herb because that guy got extra punch ball. That was that was a crazy knockout in the first round, especially for middleweight. I didn't watch the Jose Delgado versus Haider Aimel, but there's like 26 seconds TKO in that one, the fight.
Wow.
Yeah. Another crazy. I watched the ones Terrence McKinney versus, I probably gonna butcher his name, Vyacheslav Borshev. They call him the Slava Klaus, something like that. Slav Klaus.
Mhm.
That's his nickname. But he got a submission in 55 seconds. The way, it was a weird one. He he got in the anaconda. He got him in the anaconda at first. They switched it to a guillotine, to a mounted guillotine, and he had his legs wrapped on his hips, and he's trying to bob out of like fish out of there, and the guillotine was tight in there. He was still like 5 seconds. He's trying to shake him off, but like,
Yeah.
dude, he has your hips
No. way.
He's
Yeah.
not going anywhere. I thought he was going to go out, but eventually he tap out.
Yeah, that's impressive that he lasted that long.
Yeah, I was like, dude,
With
he's
that
about.
tight?
I think you know what he stayed for that long. You know, whenever usually you get choked out, they shake your legs. He would shake his own legs from the choke. Probably that's why he stay. He didn't go out
Gotta
that
keep it circulation.
bad. Take the blood away from my feet. That's really the only way. But dude, that thing was tight, and
Oh my
especially
god.
within the first minute, there's no sweat, so there's no slipping off.
Mm-mm. Yeah. And you're fresh. You're fresh as can be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the grip is there,
Yep.
but it's a crazy.
It's gotta feel good for Terrence.
Yeah, it's a good.
That's a strange matchup, actually. Looking at that.
Yeah, because Borshev, he's only had 2 wins and 1 split decision in the UFC.
Yeah. He's 8-6. I mean, that's not a
Yeah,
great record. Versus Terrence 17-7. Like,
yeah. He turns with this one. He has 3 submissions in the UFC and 4 KOs. I
okay.
mean, that's a big mismatch.
Yeah. Kind of fed him that one.
Yeah, Slav Borshev, he is a team alpha male fighter.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's had something to do with it. But usually alpha male they have, and that bread butter for team alpha male is the guillotine. What the luck will have it.
That's why his resistance was so good.
Yeah.
That's why he lasted so long.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
used to
yeah. That's his playground right there.
it. Yeah.
Getting in there in the submission. Another one was Jacoby Smith. He's undefeated record. He choked out Nico Price in the rear naked choke round 2.
Kobe's got a nice looking record.
Yeah. What's his record?
11-0.
Yeah. He's undefeated. He's choking out Nico Price too. Pretty impressive.
That is.
Then you have Peyton Talbot versus Felipe Lima. He looked like he showed like he has some improvement on his grappling. Peyton Talbot, he caught him in a north-south position all the time, make it a little awkward. But he was like he improved his grappling because he's one of those guys that really he has a big hype behind him. Abandonedly, but because he lost the last match. The last match he looked like a shell for himself. He got dominated. Remind me of what's his name, Rosas.
Yeah.
What's it say? Chiwiwi. I don't remember what he usually say. That guy. And then another match was Benil Dariush. He beat Moicano in the United decision. And this is Benil Dariush first comeback match in nearly almost 2 years
Wow. Okay.
against Moicano. That match, he got tagged in the first round. I thought for sure Moicano was going to finish him.
Yep.
Boys looked like Moicano blew his wad in that first round because his later round he wasn't throwing as much. I mean, then Rouge was able to capitalize on that. I thought he would be better on the grappling Moicano because he's training on the Marlon Moraes. He was a former champion in the UFC. I think he was 125-pound champion. No, 135-pound. He was a 135-pound champion, Marlon Moraes. And also he's a cop now, but he has his own jiu-jitsu gym
Okay.
in Florida. If I'm mistaken. Because American top team.
Kano has that?
No, Marlon
His
Moraes.
coach. Okay.
Yeah. He's friend with Marlon Moraes. But Benila Ryush, he's like, let's dive into him because he's a pretty good. He started as a grappler. He's from Iran, but he started as a grappler. I can't remember how long it took for him to get his black belt. It took him 5 years to get his black belt.
Whew.
He won worlds blue, purple, and brown belt in no
Oh
gi.
my gosh.
Yeah. That's why it took him 5 years to get his black belt.
I mean, well, yeah, that's you can't even question it at that point.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Is that he started? Did he do any grappling before then?
Not that I know of. He's born and raised Christian Assyrian. Parents farm near Urmia, West Azerbaijan province in Iran. But he's mostly grappling. I mean, Iran, they're big in wrestling. Wrestling over there, like freestyle wrestling. They look of freestyle wrestling like the NFL over here.
Okay.
They're like big into wrestling, Iran.
Mhm.
Another number one guy is Jasdani. He's like really good wrestler.
Okay.
Yeah, for Vanilla Rouge, I remember him being a grappler. I mean, in World Jiu Jitsu, a brown belt, 2012 took silver, purple silver, and blue silver in 9, 10, and 12, and bronze in 2009. That was in the World Championship for the Ingi. But in Nogi, gold 2010 as a brown belt, gold in 2009, purple belt, and blue belt, gold 2008. And then 2009 as a purple, he took bronze. In 2010 as a brown belt, he took silver. But then later on in the year, he won gold and brown. Oh no, actually, the brown belt in 2010 it was the open.
Okay.
In 2009, he won the open, but he lost in his bracket. But he took third place, took bronze in Nogi. I mean, that's impressive right there.
Yeah. Yeah. That's amazing.
But he's back in because at one point he had his record. He had a winning streak.
He had a winning streak.
Yeah, because he beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He won't beat 8. He was the 5 winning streak before he went against Charles Oliveira.
Ah, okay.
And Charles Oliveira, before he was champion,
Mhm.
TKO him, and then he went against Arma Sayukian. He got KO by him as well. So in 2023, both of
Hmm.
those matches. So he got 2
Yep.
KOs in 1 year. So he just took some time off. Just came back after almost 2 years.
Came back strong with the looks.
Yeah, I mean he beat Game Rod. That's a good fighter. He beat Tony Ferguson,
Wow. Yeah.
Drew Dober.
Tony's no joke in the grappling either.
No,
So
he
that's
caught him in a was it knee bar? I think he got in a heel hook or something like that. And Tony Ferguson refused to tap out.
uh
That's the fight where they really ask Tony Ferguson like, dude, like what were you doing? Like, no, whenever I was caught in that submission, I remember one of my kids is double jointed and like, oh holy fuck, I hope I'm double jointed too. Like he thinks about doing his fight. Like, oh shit, I hope I'm double jointed too right now.
that's
Well,
funny.
but I think that's the opposite you wanna be if you're in a submission because that means your joints are looser, so you need more
Right. Yeah. It's just gonna
vulnerable
let it happen.
to injury because you have more slack on your.
Hmm.
But man, I remember when he got caught in that. Like, dude, he refused to tap out. No, I think was it armbar? I think that's the one with the armbar that he got caught because Charles Oliveira caught him in the leg lock. But yeah, this is the armbar that he got. He refused to tap to the armbar. Shit.
Golly.
But yeah, that was a good fight for him to come back after almost 2 years layoff, coming off 2 knockouts and beating Moicano. Now for the main event, the lightweight championship. That one was interesting. Topuria moving up to 155. I mean, Islam Makhachev left the division, leaving a void of like a ripple effect of Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria coming up as champion from 145. He was champion 145, vacated the title to come up to 155. And then you have Charles Oliveira. He has the most, I think, bonus in the UFC, most like submission or finishes in the UFC currently. Yeah, I just like look back and he has been in the organization for 15 years in the UFC. Charles Oliveira. I was like, that's impressive. That many years and you have that many performances in the year or performance on the night in submissions and knockouts.
Yeah.
And then you run into Topuria in his first round, 2 minutes 27 seconds, KO Charles Oliveira,
Mhm.
the finishing king.
That is, I mean, I was not expecting that to be the result. Just, I don't know. It seems like a lot of the time it really, well, put it this way, it's rare that you see somebody that much shorter knocking out, especially somebody like Oliveira, who's, he's no joke. He's very good in the stand up, in the grappling, whatever. But yeah, that really surprised me.
Yeah, also you have to take consideration was Oliveira two Gaethje's punches, ate it, didn't put him out. Dustin
Yep.
Poirier drop him, didn't finish him. And then Topuria just came and just blasted him in the first round. And he's not one of those TKO, it was boom, flatline,
Right.
like one hitter quitter.
Mhm.
Like it was so bad that Mark Gooder was holding Charles Oliveira's face and singing "Sweet Nothing," trying to bring him back. Like,
Yeah.
that's how bad of a knockout it was.
Yeah, that's some crazy power coming out of that dude.
Yeah.
But
Also, do you know that he has a lot of money? DC was talking about that. Tuporia, he comes from money family.
really,
Yeah, he's DC talk about Tuporia. He has a $2 million gym where he lives, and he has a helipad on the roof.
whoa.
Yeah, that kind of money. And they say like, where you get this money from? It's like, well, that's what he said. You know,
Dang.
like because it's interesting because according to some people, his family is from Georgia and they left as a refugee from there and they live in Spain. I'm not sure where the money they get it from, but they have a lot of money. Like before
Yep.
he just started to fight. Usually, fighting is a poor sport.
Really, yeah, because when you're rich, you don't have to work that hard.
Yeah, like
That's
for example, Charles Oliveira came from the favelas.
that is really interesting. I mean, you could train for a phenomenal training, nutrition, training, anything really with
Yeah,
that kind of money. So there's that advantage. So if you're willing to put in the work, you could go a lot farther with it, probably.
you have more resources as well, less stress. Like trying to get some money for fun.
Exactly.
You should be eating anyways because you couldn't wait. But your family eats still though.
Yeah.
That's more stress that puts on you because you get rewarding according to the performance how you perform.
Mhm.
And that's about for your family
Yeah.
as a prize fighter. Another guy that is in the same division that comes from money is Armin. So you can his dad is from Armenia, but I can't remember where they get where's his money come from. It's usually his dad has money because he
Mhm.
drives like a Rolls Royce. He has like a garage of like crazy cars. But some of the money.
Yep. Strange.
Well, also for that one, at the end of the fight, Ili Topuria called out Paddy Pimblett for his next contender. Fight him.
Really?
Yeah. So this looks like, according to that right there, it looks like that will be the next matchup that they'll make: Paddy Pimblett versus
Mhm.
um Topuria. And my wife told me, but I don't know, I haven't seen it. But I remember. Well, first we'll back it up. Just in case you say the next fight he had is for a title or he was going to retire. And somebody asked during the press conference, they know what? What about Gaethje? He's like, he should retire. He probably should retire. It's like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. That's because Gaethje has like one of the most finishes in like highlight. They call it highlight for a reason.
Right.
For
Yeah.
us, the night, how many he has.
Weird. Yeah. It's not like any of his recent fights have been bad either. I mean, he's put up some really good fights recently.
He KO'd Dustin Poirier for the
Yeah.
BJJ title.
So that's a strange thing. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, now they have Paddy Pimblett from him. I tried to do like a bracket system or like a scoring system for the as far as ranking for the UFC because they have the UFC ranking thing. I just
Yes.
went back like within the last 5 years. Who are the fighters? Their scoring of different wins. Let me share my screen. So this is what I was able to come up. Let me bore you to tears of win numbers. But like for different wins, so for example, a draw will be 1 point. You don't get point for losing. 1 point for
Right.
draw. 2 point for split decision. 3 point for anonymous decision. 4 points KO and 5 points for submission because submission is a lot harder to get on people on KOs.
Hmm.
Based off that formula, this will be the ranking without Tuporia because Tuporia will probably be at the top. I have not seen this guy, Grant Dawson, but he has what 9 wins in UFC. 3 of them is combat submission, 2 by KO. He has like the most finishing rate and wins and more active. So also this formula favors whoever is more active. For example, Moicano, he fights a lot. So those
Hmm.
wins that he gets, for example, submission and KOs they just happen to have, also bring him up higher in the ranking.
Yes.
Another thing that I'll probably bring in that should count probably performance in the night especially if you win, that should count for at least 1 point.
Right.
That would probably be considered as a tiebreaker criteria.
Yeah.
So here they have Grant Dawson, Renato Moicano, Terrence McKinney, which has 4 KOs and 3 submissions, all finishes in the UFC within the last 5 years. Charles Oliveira is a champion. He had 3 submissions, 2 KO. He patted Pimblett. But as MMA math doesn't like really add up because you have this right here. For example, Benoit Saint-Denis is on Dustin Poirier, but Dustin Poirier beat Benoit Saint-Denis. Max Holloway is on the Gaethje, even though Max Holloway KO Gaethje. But also, Max Holloway is coming from 145. He only has one fight, 150. Well, 2 of them. The first one was against Poirier.
You say that, but they're tied. Really?
Justin Gaethje and Max Holloway.
Yep.
I think they only fought once.
They only fought once.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier fought Max
I
Holloway.
was just saying, like point wise, score wise,
Yeah.
they're tied.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. Because they have both the same thing: KOs, unanimous decision. So Max Holloway should be higher than anyways, because he got KO and also fight of the night as well. Did he win the
True.
300,000?
What's
Because
that?
that was UFC 300. Remember, Dana White said, "Okay, 300,000 for performance of the night. If you win it, you get 300,000." He got 300,000 in that night.
Yeah.
How crazy is that? I can't remember how much he got paid because he got performance of the night. He got KO of the night because that's fight of the night. Dan Hooker, well, so he was laid off for a little bit because he had a couple of string of fights. And then Chandler, like, dude, he had 2 KOs. Once he got a lucky win against Hooker and Tony Ferguson. Those are only 2 wins he has.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what is the time period for this?
5 years.
5
This
years.
from
Okay.
2020 on. And also, some of them I don't have all their wins from 2020 because they were a different organization. These are only wins that they won in the UFC. So if that was, this is the ranking.
Yeah. So is that the system that you wish would be used for rankings?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like you will favor those that are more active and also like going for more finishes.
Right. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
If this will like, but also maybe the level of competition that some of them are going is not as big. But for example, these 2 right here. Well, Moicano is going against a lot of people.
Yeah.
But Game Rod, he has a pretty impressive like record as far as like people he's going against. I can't remember who he went against because I was looking at it yesterday. Matheus Game Rod. So he had Rafael Dos Anjos just beat him. He lost against Dan Hooker. He beat Rafael Fasiev, which he just won last Azerbaijan card. He was in the co-main event. Jalen Turner, remember that tall guy, 155? He retired. He beat him. He beat Arman. He beat Jeremy Stevens. Game Rod. He has beat all those people. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the harder things for that ranking system would be like champions who can't get matches. Always, they have a harder time being active, I feel like. Or can. I could be wrong on that, but
What do you mean champions?
and then what's that?
What do you mean by champions?
Title holders.
Okay, yeah, well, that's why I include that that title holder in there. It's only the ranking for the contender.
Okay, yeah.
Because the title holders, they'll just face whoever they give them for the matchups.
The other problem that might have, like I think you mentioned it slightly, is encouraging feed me fights or the just bad matchups.
Yeah,
But I mean, I suppose the UFC can kind of monitor that.
yeah, that's their job to feed like good competition because you have a Ken Crusher in there. He has to go move up that. That's all the same bag where I'm from. You don't get stripes or you don't get promoted for sandbagging.
That's valid.
It would be interesting. It seems like now, like the ones that have more views are the ones that are being awarded title matches.
Yes. No, 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
Because Pat Pimbley just broke into the top 10. Who did he go against? Chandler.
Last?
Chandler.
Yeah, he's very good. I have a feeling against Taporia, he's not. I don't think that's going to go well for him.
No. He has to grapple. How is he grappling? And this, you have to take a grain of salt. Topuria coaches said that his grappling is pretty good because he started wrestling background. Georgians are really good at wrestling. Look
Right.
at Merab Balashvili,
Mhm.
Georgian wrestler.
Yep. They're the ones that beat the Russians, right?
Hmm. Most of the time, they beat the Russians when they go against each other because different breed.
Mhm.
I was listening to the podcast of Coach Higgin. He was in the Joe Rogan Experience recently. He just learned that he's also one of the Trevor Whitman, the guys that he trains.
Okay.
Yeah, he trained Trevor Whitman because now also you have to take consideration he's the next guy Merab Balashvili is going against at 145.
That's
He's going against somebody that he has high tank. But Trevor Whitman he trains in Denver.
yeah. Yeah, that'll be a help.
Mm-hmm. In Coach Higgin, one of his mentors, somebody that coached him a lot, is Ryan Hall when it comes to leg locks. So it'd be
Mhm.
interesting how Merab will react to that
Mhm.
leg game. Which he's like, dude, he's hard to catch him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that is interesting. So many UFC fighters just don't know the leg locks system that well.
Mhm.
It's just not something they have to look out for typically. But yeah, you get somebody in there who's good with them.
Mhm.
That'd be interesting to see.
I remember Gordon Ryan talks about when the entries for leg locks. Some of them are good, some of them are not favorable in MMA because you get punched in the face. For example, like outside Sinkaku, they talks about it's not good for you because your legs feet are on the outside of the body. No,
Right,
because
and they
the
just
center
poke
mass.
you.
Yeah, you're just getting punched in. So you're better off doing like a holding hold, like on saddle.
Mhm.
You're better off that way. Worst case scenario, you go try to go for a sleep or something else
Mhm.
instead of just going for leg lock itself.
Yep. Hey man, I mean, that's got to be why they're not super common.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's there's a select few positions that are decent, and then there's some that are not good at all.
Yeah. Because you get folded, you just get either they mount you or they take your back, which you want to give them. And punches the different.
Well, a lot of it too is just like leg control.
Mhm.
Like if they fold you and they can leave their leg in there, they don't have to pass even. They can just beat on you.
Mhm. They used to be in there. The ground and pound was invented
Right.
that way, being
Right.
just dropping bombs somebody inside the guard.
It's almost a disadvantage to have guard at times.
Yeah.
If you can't do anything with it, you're screwed.
Yeah. Especially just holding position because used to the stall like that, especially
Hmm.
me, just in guard, not attacking because
Yep.
you're afraid of just giving up that pass. Is that what like for events like UFC BJJ that encourages the attacker instead of defending, just pulling guard and putting in the guard, just holding in their position. Should encourage you to pass or things like that.
You say that that's the reason that UFC encourages it?
No, no, UFC BJJ. I'm talking like the grappling part,
Right.
like encouraging just more attack. They're
Hmm.
just holding up a position in
Yeah.
there.
I mean, plus it's just more exciting. I mean, it's gonna get viewers. That's a pretty big motivator as well. Is yeah, just sitting there resting, stalling. Nobody wants to watch that. Not even avid practitioners want to watch that. When given the option, they'll always choose a more action packed fight.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's a running joke. Double guard pull.
hmm, yeah,
And nobody likes the bus scooters. Double bus scoot.
right.
Goes against each other.
Yeah.
Just like up and down, up and down.
UFC they allowed guard pulling in the UFC BJJ, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Something they get punished for it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
No, and just if they stay down and they're like the other one standing, I think they make him stand up. That's the only thing
mhm,
because they're not engaging.
right. Yep.
There's no other way around. But you would think in jiu-jitsu, the one that person standing engage rather than the person sitting.
Right. Yeah, that's valid. Yeah.
Because jiu-jitsu is the ground game.
Right.
But you want the person that's sitting to stand up.
That is a bit strange. I mean, really, a lot of the time, there's a lot of matches where it's like it just stalls out standing up, and neither one really can do anything, and then it just you never get to see any action. So that's
Especially heavyweights.
yeah.
You see that a lot. Heavyweights, they don't want to go to the ground because the other guy gets on
Person
top
on
of them.
bottom is yeah, they gotta pay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Especially ground game, you want to encourage the person standing to engage, get closer to the person instead of the other way around. Because the only person can only scoot so much. The person keeps scooting away, scooting away.
Right.
Especially if you're in a pit, the guy gets on the wall. Like, how do you scoot all the way up? There's no scooting up there. You're just waiting down the bottom with your legs wide open, like spread eagle.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think the strategy changed much with the curved wall versus the just straight angled?
I think so because they don't usually hang around the edge because it's easy for you to get taken down. But also, if you jump on the wall, you're able to pull guard that way. It's easy to keep guard that way
With the
with the wall.
yeah,
Because you go up the wall and then it causes you instead of you trying to get lower than them, you can just jump guard for there.
yeah,
Best case scenario, you end up on mount if they fall back.
right, yeah,
But just take away the trips though. Because it's hard for you to trip somebody if their legs are higher than you. But that's not being practiced like in regular mat.
But do you think that there's a change between the like the curved pit versus the straight angled pit, like the CJI pit versus the UFC one
Is there a difference?
in the strategy with it? Do you think it would make a big difference or not?
Yes, because the CJI is four corners. So you like, for example, you saw Luke Rockhold versus PD3. He was able to jump on the back, get a rear naked choke right there in the corner.
It's valid. Yeah.
It's more rounded. There's no corners that you can use catch somebody in there.
Mhm.
Cut the cut the ring around them. That's the only thing I think the difference will be. I'm not sure about the curvature difference is
Right.
because you
I,
compare like a ramp, for example, like in skating, a regular ramp, and then you have the pipe, let
yeah.
it drop. So there's a
Yep.
different angle. But as far as jujitsu, I have not seen a big difference in the angle.
Right. I wouldn't think so. Although I think the curved would be a bit more restricting because the end of it would be like a straight up.
Mhm.
Uh,
Kind of like a cage.
yeah, exactly. So you kind of run out of room. Whereas the angled, you can kind of keep going up for a little bit farther.
Yeah.
But I mean, most guys weren't using that much of it.
No. Yeah. So how slippery is that canvas too?
Right. Yeah.
I take consideration because if you're a canvas and you have vinyl, there's two different things. Because the UFC uses canvas for the octagon. I'm not sure
Yeah.
they use canvas for their oval plate that they use in there. Because you might not think too about that, that different like textile and texture
Mm.
for different surfaces. Because for example, like in jiu-jitsu, there's a big difference on a wrestling mat to those postal mats. It's a big, big difference.
Huge.
Like you're in guard, you're trying to like do like move a switch or shrimp. You feel like especially the gi, you're glued to the ground. That's what it
Yeah.
feels like compared to like the vinyl finish of those other mats. You will like to move around better.
It's valid. Stand up is way harder with the at least barefoot on the wrestling mats.
Yeah. I had a tournament once, and we were doing like those little puzzle mats. Like, dude, like takedowns were a freaking nightmare.
Yeah.
You get freaking concussion for taking somebody down. So you gotta make sure whenever you going down, the other person hits the ground before you.
Yeah.
But those things, like I remember, like middle of the match, we had to put it together. Like, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me put this piece. The match, but it was crazy, man. Yeah, like those, like the big difference.
What's that?
It makes a big difference on the
Yes.
type of
Oh yeah.
match that you're in competing in.
Yeah.
Because in like for example, I've seen like other like countries, that's primarily the mats they use is those puzzle mats. Because it's cheaper. I mean, shipping handling is a lot cheaper than
Yeah.
getting a legit like mat, big mat for a.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, here in the United States, you see like whole rooms full of even the walls. You go to
Mhm.
the bathroom, they have mats in there too. It's like, damn, motherfuckers everywhere. They have mats. And yeah, all the countries you see, mostly you see those puzzle mats.
Okay. Yeah. Those things, yeah, they fall apart. Those are a fun one. Definitely a different experience.
Yeah, it feels like you're dipping into the mat whenever you like digging in with your feet too.
Yeah.
You try to get side control on somebody, and that, I feel like things coming apart.
Yeah.
You feel like those the things they put in women's toes, all of those flip flops they give women whenever they get pedicure.
Yes.
Or like, you don't know those styrofoam coolers that they sell in the grocery store when you go to the beach?
The the like the
There's
white ones?
yeah, the white ones.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you go fishing, that's what it feels like when you're rolling on. It's tear apart. That's what it feels like whenever you're
Yeah.
in on those mats. Like, dude, I have nightmares like going to a tournament and you see those things like, oh, I ain't coming here, man. No,
I'm not ready.
no, I don't want those, man. I call me bougie if you want to, but no, I don't want to. Like, I can
Yeah.
break a finger on those things.
Oh yeah. No, those are yeah.
It's no cushioning, all grip.
Yes,
That's what it
exactly.
is.
Yeah. It's not concrete, but
Mhm.
it's not much better than concrete.
Yeah. Well, in some karate tournaments, they host them on those things, on those mats.
Okay. I could see that.
Mhm.
I mean, for like striking, it gives you a lot of grip. That's good, but
Yeah. And it's mostly just point system
right,
when you like, let's not like really like blasting each other.
right, yeah. The odds of you getting knocked out there are very small.
As well, use it for was it fencing?
Really?
No, just saying example. They can use it for fencing as well.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
It's not like it's not much that you're going to hit the ground that much. Sport is basically mostly is ground game. You want no there.
No judo.
No, no, man, dude. Like whenever you get slammed in there, the only thing you see just you only see the gi.
Throw.
That's game over, man. How do you break a fall whenever the ground is harder than you?
Yeah, lose the arm whenever you
Oh
snap
yeah,
it down. Is that what they call it, a break fall?
you always break some shit whenever you land.
Yeah. Well, actually, when I first started training with Mike's dad, that's all we had was those.
I already had those old school mats, like wrestling mats. Those things are hard as shit, but at least
Yeah.
a little bit more cushion than the puzzle mat.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, it was mostly that, and like a couple like just garage gyms that I've seen with those puzzle mats. But
Because they don't take as much space.
yeah, they don't take as much space, and they're a lot cheaper. I should say. I don't know if they're cheap.
You can buy any Toys R Us. You got
Yeah.
ABC.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, yeah, I've seen some like they have like 10 by 10. That's what mostly I've seen. Like for example, Amazon 10 by 10 mats
Yeah.
that a lot of people use for the practicing. For jiu-jitsu, you can use it. I can see you be able to use the 10 by 10.
Yeah.
But for takedowns, you need more space than that.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah,
Otherwise, you'd
there's too
be
much.
fixing sheetrock every other week.
Yeah. Yeah, there's way too much footwork for 10 by 10 would run out of space quickly.
Oh, yeah. Especially doing a blast double on somebody.
You'd have to start on the concrete and like run towards the.
Yeah, there's no way you'd be able to drill down there. Funny story. Whenever I was in college, one of my friends, we were dicking around, and I just jumped on his back like a real naked choke, and he pushed me against the wall and make a big ass hole.
I believe I could.
Friend's apartment. And my friend that he lives like, you motherfuckers gonna fix that shit. And then like, sure, sure. And then his roommate was coming, so he had a Mexican flag, so he put the Mexican flag on the wall. And whatever the flag couldn't cover, we put the couch over it, like in front of it. And then when he came back,
Oh,
why you guys move shit around? Don't worry about it. Like, dude, and the thing about it was he was moving because he was graduating college, and it was like a month before graduation.
oh my gosh!
And he's like, "You motherfucker better pay for this shit because I'm gonna lose my deposit."
Right.
Luckily, his brother it worked at Rock, so he did that. He fixed it. We used to have to go to Lowe's and get the part like the Rock and stuff like that, and Rock mud, and he was able to fix it. Like, I'm gonna lose my fucking deposit for you motherfuckers dicking around. Yeah, but yes, I was in college. Like, I tore my freaking shoulder in college just dicking around too. I was like, my roommate, we were just wrestling, and I was trying to roll for an arm bar. And when I roll, instead of rolling with my hip, I roll my shoulder, and my shoulder just right into into the concrete of the floor, separate my shoulder
Oh,
right before the wrestling season. It's like, oh fuck.
but your coach was happy.
Oh yeah, he was pissed. Like, what the fuck, man? How do you do it again? And, like, it was bad. I can't even run because I can move my arm
Right.
because I separated my shoulder. And eventually, it's able like to. So I hate running. So what we would do was we used to get together with the guys that work at the Mexican restaurant that's straight from the college. And they after they were done with their shift, they would bring 2 soccer goals and put it in the parking lot, and we would play soccer after
Oh, there you
that.
go.
So that's what I used to get my run in for cutting weight. Just go there playing soccer with the guys from the Mexican restaurant. And by the way, we get free drinks when we were there. Like, yeah, you can go get free drinks. Let me up, man. But yeah, man, that's how I was able to kill weight was in college because I hate running just on a treadmill.
Yeah. Yeah.
But remember, like
No, I get that.
trying to run with that separate shoulder is a nightmare.
Waddle.
Yeah, that I was talking about to my body. So you don't think like your upper body you'll need like for running, but then like whenever you start like shit, man. It's,
Yeah. Running is a full body.
have you ever had to run with a bruised rib?
With a bruise? No, I don't think so.
And that was another one, nagging injury.
Yeah. No, breathing, I bet is fun with that.
Yeah. I still to this day still feel weird, like side control, even on top with a rib. And like those are like you don't think about like those things affecting you.
Right, yeah. Really anything, especially the core, I think, related to your core is going to affect a lot more than you think.
Like today I was doing power cleans or like hand cleans. Like dude, that was a dude, like I was doing hand clean because maybe as much because deadlift sucks.
Oh, okay.
When like I'm trying like pull so like I was doing hand cleans, but yeah, like doing that full extension and then retracting.
Yep.
That was something else. But how it was better now than like 3 weeks ago. I first got the injury. But man, like all the stuff, like you didn't even think about it.
Yeah. No. It's
Like
good if it's
windmill.
better, but yeah, that won't be. What's up?
Are you doing windmills?
No,
That's what
I
whenever
don't.
you like rotate, but you been on the waist and you start like rotating like this way.
Oh, yeah.
It's called windmills. But if you do with that kettlebell, you just raise it up and you try to touch the ground. So like that was a freaking nightmare. Doing like with a 25 pound.
Yeah.
Trying to do this. Like, oh, no. I can see the shit dropping on my face. That's how bad it hurt. Dropping a kettlebell, being knocked out, just face down, ass up in the gym. What a good look, man. Like, what happened to you? Ah, my ribs. Like, where is it? You were dug into your ribs? Oh, it's a terrible look, man. How do you want to file this under your insurance? Down, down, down. But yeah, man, shit that happens in the gym, man. Yeah, we covered a lot today.
We did. We did. There was a lot that happened, so that was good.
Yeah. The next one is it going to be the New Orleans card?
Versus Teixeira.
Derek Lewis versus Teixeira, yes. Thompson Teixeira. Wonderboy Thompson versus how many more matches does Wonderboy Thompson have in his card? In his contract? Who else fighting in that one? Kevin Kidder.
Card then.
Speaking of I just remember another fighter that used to be a UFC fighter, but now is a cop. Do you see Johnny Hendricks also a cop now?
I think
He's a cop in Texas.
imagine getting chased down by him.
Oh yeah, Big Rick. That's his nickname. Because he was a national champion in wrestling for Oklahoma State. Actually, that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
No, and then it's UFC 318. That's the one where the New Orleans car. Holocaust is coming back. When's the last time he fought? Was it Vittori? Last time he fought? No, he lost against Sean Strickland June of last year. He lost against Robert Whitaker. He lost against Sean Strickland last year. Then 2023, all his matches get canceled. In February, he's supposed to get Whitaker, get canceled. In July 23, he was supposed to Ikram Aliskerov. And then in October, he's supposed to get Hamza Shemaev in 23. And that one was canceled as well. Then last year, he went against Whitaker and Sean Strickland. He lost against both of them. He had the crazy 2022. He had the crazy fight with Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold, I think he got his nose busted and he lost against Paulo Costa. But now this year, wow. June 28th, he was canceled. The fight versus Roman Kapilov. In the August 16, it's supposed to be August 16. He was supposed to against UFC 319. It was moved up to 318. So he's fighting him next in July instead of August. I'm not sure. That's weird. I've never seen that fight get canceled from previous.
Pumping that up, that's weird. I wonder if both parties were pushing for it, or
Yeah, maybe. Or it depends the venue where it's gonna be.
yeah,
Because 319 that's the Hansa Shemaev versus Dricus du Plessis. Michael Van Page is going up to middleweight, going against Jared Cannonier. That's a bad matchup. Jared Cannonier used to fight a heavyweight.
yeah.
He's fights at 185. Michael Van Page is going from 170 up to 185. Eston Barbosa is fighting that one. And Bobby Green, Bobby Green has not win a fight since he changed his name to King Green. Should probably change his name to King Green. Any better? He goes, no, he said he hasn't won a fight since he changed his name to King Green. Chase Hooper's fighting in that one. Jessica Andrade is fighting in that one, 319. Michael Johnson was in the car. And also, that's interesting because Michael Johnson fight and Paulo Costa was 319, but they moved to 318 for the New Orleans car. Tabitha Ricci, Amanda Rivas is canceled out of the 318 car. In the prelims, they have Marvin Vittori versus Brendan Allen. But the prelims look pretty thin for that one.
Yeah, they do.
Wow. That's a good one right here. Neil Magny versus Gunnar Nelson. That'd be a good fight right there.
Okay, yeah.
That's the early prelims too. Because Gunnar Nelson is a good jiu-jitsu guy. Have you seen his jiu-jitsu?
Sure.
His jiu-jitsu is nasty. I'm not sure he still trains with Kabanov. That's Conor McGregor, a coach, but that's who he trains with. He submitted Barberena in 2023 for Nelson, and then he go against Leon Edwards and Gilbert Burns. He submitted. You remember Alex Oliveira, Cowboy? He beat him, submitted him. Submitted Alan Jovan, submitting. That's in 2016. He submitted Brandon Thatch. That's the only guy that was like a big prospect for the UFC, but it didn't plan out. The UFC 189, that was a big. I remember that was a big car. Do you remember that car? UFC 189. That was where, yes. So that one was the. Well, Thomas Almeida was going on a freaking tear, KO everybody. So right now we're going over the main card for that one. Yeah, Thomas Almeida was really good. Was undefeated at the time. The Golden Nose wing is Brandon Thatch. Brandon Thatch is a big prospect at the time. And Golden Nose is he has a karate stance, and his jiu-jitsu is like legit. He's able to submit Brandon Thatch like in the first round, 2 minutes 54 seconds. Then you have Jeremy Stevens versus Dennis Bermudez. Jeremy Stevens knocked out Dennis Bermudez in the third round. Then you had the war of the welterweights championship of Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler. Too. Remember that one? And then the main event was Conor McGregor versus Chad Mendes.
Yeah.
And that's the only, and that's another thing I forgot to talk about. That's the only card in which the main event, they have a artist perform the walkout song.
Really?
For Chad Mendes, he had Aaron Lewis. He used to be the lead singer of Sting. He's singing Country Boy Can't Survive. That was his walkout song. And Conor McGregor had Sinead O'Connor sing The Foggy Do as he's walking out. It was nuts.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
I was also that fight that was supposed to be Jose Aldo versus Conor McGregor, but Jose Aldo pulled out. Allegedly, Rihanna was scheduled to sing Run This Town when Jose Aldo was coming out. But because Jose Aldo pulled out, that would have been crazy.
That would have been next level.
And which brings me to my next point. Dustin Poirier fighting in New Orleans. His walkout song is Diamonds by Rihanna. If it's gonna be his retirement fight, that'd be awesome if Rihanna sing Diamonds as the Diamond is walking out. Yeah. But come on, you saw the Bud Light money. The Bud Light commercial money to pay for Rihanna to sing Diamonds as the Diamond is walking out.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But who would Max Holloway have as his? So I can't remember who he has as walkout song, because some fighters, they are known for their walkout songs. Like for example, Conor McGregor, he has Sinead O'Connor, The Fuck You Do with the Shift Stains. The California Kid, You're a Favorite, but California Love. Yeah. The Diamond, he had that one. Dustin Poirier, Diamond. Damian Maya, he walked out to Numb by Linkin Park. Yeah. This walkout song. Vanilla Silva, he has Sandstorm. And then like they have like different ones. They have their own walkout songs. So it'd be awesome if they have. I don't know who Max Holloway has as a walkout song, but it'd be awesome if, I mean, it's New Orleans. But how much money would you have to pay Rihanna because she's a multimillionaire?
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, I mean she performed for free at the Super Bowl. You know, people that perform at the Super Bowl halftime show, they don't get paid. Yeah, they don't get paid for it. for that. So if she was able to do the NFL, I mean, do New Orleans for the diamond, Uncle Dana has the money for it. What does Colby Covington call Dana White call Uncle Fester?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Speaking of respect, have you seen the video whenever he Dana White was in like those live videos? Like he's like a fucking Friday. He was like doing some cooking and some shit like that. And somebody's like, "Hey, Dana White, let me rub some oil on you." He's like, "What the fuck?"
Yes.
People just randomly like, "Let me rub some oil on you."
I remember seeing that.
It cracks me up every time somebody like posts like some oil. Go. And another thing was you see the video where Elite Porter is arguing with Max Holloway before their fight, and then he's like doing the same thing as you, and then Topuria asks, "Who is Joe?" But that's the dialect in Hawaii. They say you, they say Joe, and then Topuria says,
Oh,
"Who the
okay.
fuck is Joe? I'm not Joe." And then Trevor Women one time that he was because the drill that Max Holloway was like doing like short punches. Then Trevor Women was saying one of the drills. You say 20 seconds Joe, and then just like punching short punches on the back. Trevor Women just laughing or just smirking. And then who the fuck is Joe? And then he was a Joe Rogan experience. That's me, Joe. They asked him to Poria if Volkanovski decided to go up for a third time to 155, chance for the title, will he be willing to fight him? It's like he's like, no, I don't want to do that to Volkan again. I would, I don't want to do that to
Yeah.
Volkan again. He's a nice guy. Knock him out again. I mean, he has a death touch for somebody that's short. We'll see how he goes as far as like, I mean, double champ now. It's among those. I mean, is that 8 now? Double champs. There's BJ Penn, Couture. You have Conor McGregor, GSP, DC, Amanda Nunes, Alex Pereira, missing somebody, Triple C, that's 8, and not Ilya Topuria, so that's 9. And John Jones, 10. Forgot about John Jones. He's double champ as well.
Yeah, that's quite a few. There's been, yeah, I remember when that was like, a rare thing, but now it's starting to feel more and more common.
Yeah. But there's only a few that have been like defended simultaneously champion.
Right.
But for some reason, I think DC is the only one that defended the title simultaneously. I like heavyweight and heavyweight.
Really?
Here he goes. He beat Derek Lewis. He beat Ozemir. That's his name. No time. When he was a champion. He beat Anthony Rumble Johnson as well. When he was a champion, the light heavyweight. I think Amanda Nunes is the only other one in the women's division that she defended while she was champion, both of them. But that's not possible anymore. A double champ defending both titles.
Right.
Boom.
It makes sense.
Yeah. So now he's considered now a Hall of Famer, Topuria, because he did double champ and undefeated.
Yeah, that's impressive.
We'll see how he does in this division because he's a doggy dog in this division as well. But also some of them are going out. Casey is going out probably. Dustin Poirier is retiring. Max Holloway is in the tail end. He already beat Max Holloway. So we'll see who is up to the other guys. Moicano's going out. I don't know how much younger the other ones are. Benoit Denise, Gamrod, Fasif, Arman. They'll probably double up. The other ones come Patty Pimblett coming up around the ranking. See how they do in the game. You want to close out?
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed the talk about the many different happenings, the UFC, BJJ, UFC in general. If you did, give us a like, give us a listen on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Appreciate follows on Instagram. Let us know if you have anything interesting to talk about. Shoot us a DM. We're always open. So thank you guys.
Devin Rios, Devin Rios, the Instagram was yours, your handle?
At Nate Shaw BJJ.
You send us the messages. No dick pics, please. Not after hours. Thank you very much. Till next time.